The 2025 NBA offseason is already off to an insane start, and the finals aren't over yet. On the day of Game 7, the Phoenix Suns and Houston Rockets agreed on a Kevin Durant trade that is going to send Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick during Wednesday's first round, and 5 second-round picks for Kevin Durant. So we're going to break down this trade today. I'm going to give my thoughts, opinions on each side, and give out some letter grades at the end of this video. It is wild that last Sunday we had Desmond Bane get traded. This Sunday it's Kevin Durant with the finals in a few hours, and the Rockets go out and get their guy. They needed a number one in the playoffs. We saw that in round number 1 against the Golden State Warriors, and they trade away Jalen Green, who they took with the second overall pick back in the 2021 draft. The Suns get Jalen Green here, which I think is a weird fit with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. So I could expect Jalen Green to be rerouted at some point this offseason. I think getting Dillon Brooks is a nice add and better than some other salary fillers that could have been in this trade. And you do get the 10th overall pick back during this year's draft instead of your 2027 first. And the Suns can get an immediate contributor with the 10th overall pick during Wednesday's first round selection. And I just love this for the Houston Rockets, not having to trade away Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepard, or that 2027 Suns pick as well. I think this is really good as you're already a 2 seed in the Western Conference, and you're going from Jalen Green, who at times was your number 1 scoring option, to Kevin Durant, who was unreal last season for the Phoenix Suns, even with them being somewhat disappointing in the Western Conference. Last year, Kevin Durant, in his age 36 season for the Phoenix Suns, averaged 26.5 points on 52, 43, 84 splits. This is still prime Kevin Durant, even though he's going to be 37 years old this upcoming September. He's still one of the best scorers in the NBA, and now you're surrounding him with a dominant offensive hub in Alperen Şengün, a good veteran point guard in Fred VanVleet, one of the best young stars in the league in Amen Thompson, and you also kept the other young pieces, like I said, Jabari Smith and Reed Shepard around Kevin Durant. This team can be very exciting and very scary in the 2026 season. Now, it hasn't fully came out yet, but you assume that Kevin Durant is going to sign at least a 2-year extension with the Houston Rockets to end his career with them. So now he spent time in OKC, in Golden State, Brooklyn, Phoenix, and now Houston. So his 5th team, his 4th in the Western Conference. And you have to be excited about this if you're a Rockets fan, because you were just so good last year in the regular season. You needed that number 1 guy, and you're going to be okay when Kevin Durant retires. You're still going to have Şengün and Amen Thompson running the show. You would have liked for Jalen Green to be that number 1 for you, like you thought he was going to be out of the G League Ignite during that 21 draft. But it's okay. And you made that trade with the Brooklyn Nets last offseason, swapping the Nets picks. You gave them back to Brooklyn to get the Suns picks to make a deal like this. Last summer, they were rumored to give up Alperen Şengün for Kevin Durant. This summer, you didn't even have to come close to that. Apparently, the Miami Heat were also very interested in getting Kevin Durant, as were the San Antonio Spurs, but maybe they didn't want to dangle a Devin Vassell or a Kel'el Ware. Phoenix wanted to make this trade before the NBA draft, so now they're going to have the 10th overall selection. But I think Ime Udoka is going to get a very fun lineup out there next year with Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. That could be one of the more exciting offenses in the NBA. And now we get to see Kevin Durant with probably his best team around him since maybe the 2021 Brooklyn Nets, maybe the 2022 Nets before James Harden got traded. And now he's going to have just young talent, defense. And I'd even mention he gets to play with Steven Adams again for the first time since 2016 when they were on the Oklahoma City Thunder together. And I also didn't even mention Tari Eason. This team is insanely deep on both ends of the floor, and I'm really excited just to watch Houston Rockets basketball as a whole. Rockets fans, you can let me know in the comments right now, what do you think about this trade overall? As for the Phoenix Suns, it is a little bittersweet as it was such a big deal when you traded for Kevin Durant back at that 2023 trade deadline. You got Jalen Green, who, like I said, is a weird fit with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, but I also think Dillon Brooks is a great fit there, and Phoenix is going to be a great 3-and-D wing, and he can help the Suns over the next 2 years in which he's under contract, because they do not own their first-round picks in the 2026, 7 draft, and basically every draft till 2032. So now you can reshuffle this roster a little bit around Devin Booker. I do think Jalen Green could get rerouted if it's not going to be Bradley Beal. So maybe a team like Memphis, Sacramento, Brooklyn, one of those teams could be calling, and maybe they can get an additional asset for Jalen Green. He's not under the worst contract in the world. He still has really good potential in this league. He's still fairly young, and he showed great flashes at times last year, even outside the month of March. But you do hope that he could be a little bit more consistent going forward. Maybe a team wants to take a chance on Jalen Green. And there were so many fun options with the 10th overall pick for Phoenix on the night of the NBA draft as well. They can maybe go high upside if maybe a Kamon Watch or Derek Queen is there at number 10. 10 and they wanted to go a big man. Maybe they want an NBA ready defender like a Colin Murray Boyles or a Cedric Howard, or maybe they want a high upside winger guard as well, and they can go after Carter Bryant, Noah Essengay, or maybe they could take a chance on Yegor Demon. Who knows? Maybe there's somebody that slides on the night of the draft, or maybe they make a trade on the night of the draft as well. What if they could trade up in this class? What if New Orleans wants to take a flyer on Jalen Green? You never know what can happen, and now Phoenix is in a little bit better position to successfully reshuffle this roster around Devin Booker going forward. I'm just glad that we got to this point and they didn't hold on to Kevin Durant and then maybe have to trade him next year at the deadline for pennies on the dollar. I know you didn't really accomplish much with KD. You lost in round number 2 in 2023, and then you got swept by Minnesota in the first round last year. You don't even make the play-in tournament this year, and with Kevin Durant at the age that he's at, and with Phoenix not owning much of their draft capital going forward, they had to make this type of deal, and it's definitely a weird start to the Matt Ishbia era over the first few years, right? Like, you were one of the more exciting young teams in 2021 and 2022, but you did have that veteran in Chris Paul. They decided to trade Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a bunch of draft capital for Kevin Durant, which is a move you make to go all in, which they did, and then they basically fumbled that away by trading Chris Paul for Bradley Beal of 2023, and then they also traded DeAndre Ayton and Tumani Kamara, who they could have definitely used today, for Yusuf Nurkic, who they had to dump a 2031 first-round pick to get off of because they had to make that separate trade with the Jazz just to get more picks in terms of quantity. So this Suns team has been going downwards for the last 18 months, and I'm glad to see this is a nice move to reshuffle the roster, and who knows what can happen next year in the Western Conference. Maybe they make a good move or two on the margins. They could end up as the 9th seed or the 10th seed and sneak their way into the playoffs as an 8th seed. So I think this was the right move for Phoenix, but I love it for Houston a little bit more. I'm going to give it an A+ for Houston. Like I said, being able to keep Şengün, Amen Thompson, which you were never giving up, but you're also able to keep Reed Shepherd, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., that Suns first round pick in 2027. I know trading away Dylan Brooks probably hurts the most, and you were never going to really play the 10th overall pick in this year's draft, but now you can really have a good blend of youth, NBA star level talent around Kevin Durant, and this is definitely the best Kevin Durant roster, like I said, since probably the 2021 Nets, given that the Rockets were a 2 seed last year. They have a great young head coach in Ime Udoka, who just got an extension, and now you also have more assets to play with as well, and you could definitely make an argument that the Rockets have the best chance at rivaling the OKC Thunder in the 2026 season. It's funny, we don't even know who the NBA champion is right now, when we've already seen Desmond Bane get traded to the Orlando Magic and Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets. So yeah, I'm going to give it an A+ for the Houston Rockets. I love it. I love the aggression, and they didn't really have to give up too much to get Kevin Durant. They're going to be fine when he retires one day. As for the Phoenix Suns, yeah, you would have loved to get a better return. Maybe you could have traded him a year ago. I'm going to give them a B for the steal. I'm intrigued to see who they go with the 10th overall pick on the night of the draft. Now they're going to have 2 first-round picks. I'm going to be interested to see if they reroute Jalen Green, because if they get a draft pick or maybe they get a wing that's more defensive-minded or a big for Jalen Green, I could definitely bump that up as well, and we're going to see how Dylan Brooks looks next year around Devin Booker, and I don't think they're going to be that much worse than they were in 2025. I could see them having a similar record. Maybe they're even better if they're healthier. We'll see. So yeah, I'm going to give it an A+ for the Houston Rockets, a B for the Phoenix Suns. Let me know what you guys think of this trade down below. Man, this is going to be a hectic Sunday because we got Game 7 of the NBA Finals tonight as well. We have the NBA draft on Wednesday. We have free agency a week from Monday as well. It's going to be a very interesting next week and a half in the NBA landscape. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe for more content for videos like this throughout the NBA offseason when a big move goes down, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.